How are you?
Hey, how are you?
You said you were really looking forward to having a full week on the training field this week. Just how much have you and your side benefited from that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I think building on the weekend's game, the opening game's always a tricky game, and I thought there were some really good things for us going forward. But we have to tighten up. We have to be a little more difficult to play through. But getting the cues right, the triggers right, all of those things, they requires work on the grass. So yeah, it's been a good training week. We've still got another day tomorrow.
Sam Kerr on the grass, how's she coming along with her recovery?
Yeah, she's back in full training. Sam is never perfect anyway. She always wants a little bit more, but yes, she's available for selection.
That's brilliant news. And Fran Kirby came off the bench last weekend. Is she now ready to start a game if selected?
Well, we make that decision today. Once we analyse training, speak with the medical team. Fran is available for selection too. So we have the option of picking from. I don't see anybody's out injured apart from obviously Katerina Macario, who's had a long-term issue with her ACL, but she's still think a few weeks away at the very least. And Katerina Svitkova, who has a long-term injury too.
And what challenge are you expecting from Manchester City? Had a difficult end to last season, but what are you expecting at the start of this one?
I think Man City are a team that have had minimal disruption over the summer, with Rord coming in, adding a lot in that 10 position. She's got a goal threat. I think they've got cohesion in the way they play. There's a confidence in what they do. They're a team that can build up with, good width, low fullbacks, inverted fullbacks. They've got a good variety in their play. And they've got a player in Hasegawa at the base of their midfield who's, I think, been pivotal to their success. And as we know, in the front areas, they've got players, Hemp, Kelly, really good 1v1 players, and then Bunny Shaw, a prolific striker. So a top team, and I expect they haven't lost in 20 games, something like that. That it is a really, really difficult place to go.
And finally for me, it's been a really interesting few days of VAR. I know you spoke about it on Sunday, but at the very least, how much do you feel like goal line technology is a necessity in the WSL?
I just want consistency is for all facilities to do the same thing, all competitions to do the same thing. So I just want consistency with that, and I've been an advocate of technology, but we've got to introduce all of it to everyone, otherwise not at all. And the same with goal line technology.
Thanks, James. Moose.
Hi Emma, how are you?
Right.
Can I start with that as well? I mean, for me, one of the strengths of the EFL, one of the strengths of WSL is not having technology, is the ability of the fans when a goal goes in to instantly have that moment of celebration, is to not have endless debates for a whole week about whether or not somebody who's not even at the ground, sitting miles away, has got the decision right or wrong, like football always has been. Why in particular then would you like to have technology?
Well, first of all, debates are controlled by you guys, and if you choose to discuss VAR and technology all week, then I'd start asking, why aren't you doing more technical and tactical conversational stuff? I feel we apportion far too much time throughout the media around VAR, instead of talking about pictures and patterns of play and coaching and performance. I think we need to do more of that and less on technology. I think when it comes to goal line technology, it's either over or it's not, and if there's a simple solution for it, which there is, then it would be ideal. I think when it comes to things like incidents in the penalty box, I think everybody for the most part would, if an official gets it wrong and VAR, support that. I think where it becomes very contentious when it comes to handball and offside moments, and there's no ideal world scenario. But I never see the rugby world discuss technology the way we do in football, and I think we have to look at that yes, we've got to improve the communications that are on the ground between officials and having clarity in the back offices to make sure we streamline that. But I think we're maybe spending too much time talking about it.
You mentioned that. The Women's World Cup, what I loved was the fact that when a referee went across, for example, to the monitor to give a penalty or not, or something off, that was then broadcast in the stadium. Would you like to see that kind of communication so we all know what's going on? It's not like 3 days later we...
Don't know, don't think about it. It's not for me to decide, so I don't have an opinion on it.
Okay. Top four, normally, the title is decided by matches between those. Arsenal, surprisingly, I think lost at home to Liverpool last week. How big a game then is this for you in terms of the fact you don't want to lose to a title rival?
Don't know, we lost to Liverpool last year. It didn't affect what our outcome was. I suspect teams will take points off of each other at different points in the year. There's no denying that there is an advantage for Manchester City playing at home, but my team has to play our game and make sure we build on the good work of the opening game of the season, and we have enough characters and enough depth and enough quality and clarity in what we want to do that my only interest is making sure we implement that first and foremost.
Is it more than just 4 teams in the mix this year?
I don't know. It's too early. We've had one game, but I think Aston Villa are proving, they're built on their good work from last year. But I think we also have to look at the work being done elsewhere. Like Brighton, I think have recruited really well and got a really good young manager. Everton are capable of performances. I think Matt Beard's been around this business a long time and knows what he's doing. Knows how to get results against the top teams. So I think it's foolish at this stage to pick one team over another.
Finally, can I ask you if you saw the comments made by former England manager Kevin Keegan and what you made of them this week?
It was my father's funeral yesterday. I can honestly tell you I didn't see him. Sorry.
Thanks, Moose. Yep.
Condolences, by the way.
Thanks.
Is it nice after one game not to be playing catch up? I noticed in recent years Chelsea have always dropped points in the opening game. You always sort of had to play catch up during the season. Is it refreshing change to be leading from the front?
I don't know. Because I don't look at it when we're on the top, and I don't look at it when we're in second. So I'm not preoccupied with tables and things like that. The most important thing is that the motivation in the dressing room, day in, day out, is there regardless of the result. Because if you have that, then it's where you finish at the end that's going to matter. And I think, I've said it last week, we have a really hungry dressing room. Everyone wants to play. Everyone's good enough to play. So for us, the challenge is maintaining that hunger when we can only pick 11 players every week. So maybe ask me that question in a few weeks' time. At the moment, we're enjoying training so much because whatever teams you put together, they're 2 WSL top level teams. So we have to make sure we all perform, not just here, but when we get our opportunities and then from the bench. And if we do that, then we have another chance of winning the trophy.
I've got a couple of more numbers questions for you. I noticed looking at the league table, it basically only 2 defeats, I think, to the max that you yourself have suffered on the way to winning titles, but it's a consistent trend.
Yeah.
Do you think there's potential of more defeats this season will win you the title, or does it put actually everyone under pressure that one defeat and you're already thinking, cool, can only afford to lose one more?
I don't know, lots of people said we weren't at our best last year. We had a records points total to win the league. And I think about previous years, well, maybe that team being a little bit further ahead in different ways. We didn't accrue as many points, but I think there is more unpredictability than ever. The opening game demonstrates that. I think the question we should be asking is, when are we going to make our league a bit bigger? Because, you know, losing a league, or, you know, you're out of a league contender position if you lose 2 games very early on. I think our league should, it's time to grow. It's time to go from 12 to 16 or 18 teams. That's what I think.
And finally, obviously, I noticed that Chelsea got attendance about 14,000 last weekend, which is good.
Yeah.
But Arsenal getting 60,000. You're the multi-title winners. You're the best team in the country. Have been for a while. Is there something that Chelsea need to do to get more fans in, or? Yeah,
we are doing it. I think the work off of the pitch this summer, putting in place new marketing officers. We've got a new women's commercial officer. I think what that's given us now is a round table of people internally in the club that are focusing solely on the women's team, and that's a big difference. And I think we will see those changes over the course of the year. I think those numbers will grow because we figured out what our own goals were internally, where we were making errors, and rectified those things, and at the same time making sure we're building on a solid platform. So to finish a game against Tottenham, we know we've already sold 7,500 seats for the next game. For me, that's a solid starting point, as opposed to starting from zero all of the time. And I think that's what Arsenal have done tremendously well. When they got there, they captured well, they built the content all in and around it, they made sure the ticketing system is going to the lowest price ticket first instead of the highest, something we did. That's why I refer to the own goal. But you need them learnings, and I think that we will be in a better position with each and every game, because our commercial team, our marketing team, our comms team, they sit in with the rest of the team now. We work together with the players to make sure we're heading towards that, and I think that's the first time that's really happened since I've been here in 11 years. So I'm excited about the growth of us, because I think once we do get to that point, then I can be asked, you know, I will certainly be asking to be there more often.
So the ultimate goal, regular sort of sell out Stamford Bridge, is that the...
Yeah, and if not, don't be there. We'll be at Kings Meadow. Like, if we know it's a game which is extremely challenging to do that, then yeah, we should stay at Kings Meadow. I think we should remain in a hybrid model, because it's better to stay at Kings Meadow, not build a 12,000 all-seater, let's say, for example, and then all of a sudden you're outgrowing that in 3 or 4 years' time. I think it's best to have a hybrid practice in the women's game right now.